have a stalker and I'm scared for my life. Okay, backstory. So, this girl has been stalking me. Yes, it's a female. Has been stalking me since August of last year. Before August of last year, actually. So, backstory. I had a boyfriend, right, last summer. It wasn't supposed to happen. The relationship was not supposed to happen. It was really just like a summer fling that turned into something more, you know? So fast forward, whatever, we're dating or whatever, and he tells me about this ex that he has that's kind of crazy, that he broke it off with her and they don't talk no more. So I believed him, and he actually did show me the messages and everything, showed me that she was blocked and all that, saying that she was going to ruin his life, whatever, whatever. And then he had posted me one day, and I guess she responded to him or like her spam or something like that, and was like, you lucky I'm having a good day or else I will ruin your relationship. So I really didn't think nothing of it because I'm like, I'm not intimidated about that girl. Like, she don't live where he lives. Like, I was not, like, I didn't care. And he said he was done with her, so I believed it, and I took his word for it. So we're dating, whatever. And we broke up around August of last year. But this girl didn't know that, right? She didn't know that. So before we broke up, right, this girl literally was stalking my every move. She didn't follow me on social media, but obviously she knew my page because my page pops up places and I was commenting on his pictures and stuff like that. So y'all, this girl literally freaking, mind you, she lives in Miami. I live in Miami. My ex-boyfriend lives in Maryland. So this girl literally would go on my page, look on my shit, and literally this girl literally found out what last check I went to and started going to her. And mind you, me and this last check, I don't go to her no more, but me and this last check was really cool. Like, we was like hanging out outside of like her doing my lashes and stuff, so we would talk on a personal level. Yeah, why does she find out what freaking last check I went to and try to get information out of my last check about me and my ex? Like, my last check will literally tell me everything. Like, she was asking about this. She said, first of all, she told my last check that she knew me. Like, we were friends or something. Like, and so I'm like, huh? Like, this is not my friend. I don't know this girl from a can of freaking paint. Like, I know that she's my ex's ex, but nothing like that. So after she went to my last check and started freaking going to people that I was getting my service providers from, like my service from, I'm like, oh, this girl is weird. So then I started to see this girl outside, like out in Miami, because I would be going out and stuff like that. I would see this girl everywhere. Everywhere I would see her, she would be staring me down like a psycho. I seen her at the bowling alley. I seen her at this outside of this little lounge thing. When I seen her outside the lounge in Wynwood, if y'all from Miami or live in Miami, y'all know Wynwood, whatever, Dunkanu. I seen her right outside Dunkanu, and I was with my cousin and I was with my friend. She was with her friend. As soon as she seen me, she turned to her friend and was like, oh my God, and like started laughing. Like, you know, like it was so obvious that she was about to tell your friend you see me. But I'm like, is it giving fan or is it giving stalker? Because I don't know. And I did not seen the girl out again. Y'all, I recently just seen this girl out last weekend, and we was in the section. I don't even know how she got in the section, first of all. But she was in the section with me and my homeboys or whatever. And I didn't see this girl the whole time because I was in the section the whole time. I didn't see her the whole time. So I'm like, and she was standing beside me the whole entire time, y'all. I didn't even realize it was her. Like, it's crazy. And then as soon as we about to leave the section, she taps me. She's like, oh, I think I know you. And so I'm kind of like lit. So I'm not even paying attention to nobody's face for real. So I turned to her. I'm like, no, it isn't you, bro. No, it's not you. Y'all, this girl literally is fucking stalking me. Like, I'm like, yo. So as soon as she was like, oh, I think I know you. What's your name? And I was like, Lara. She was like, oh, yeah, I know you. And I turned to actually look at her face. Y'all, it was her. And I was like, oh, no. And I literally, like, put my hand on her face and, like, left the section. But it's like, I'm kind of scared because why are you doing all this over a guy? Or are you just a fan? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't even date the guy anymore. Please leave me alone.
Things my stalker ex did, story time. For some context, we dated in high school for 3, maybe 4 months, and throughout our relationship, he was both physically and emotionally abusive. He wouldn't put hands on me, but he would bite me so hard that it would leave bruises and draw blood, and I was really confused as to what the fuck was going on. He also licked up the blood for some type of sick magic ritual he was doing one day. Before you guys start, why didn't you leave him? Because he would blackmail me and threaten to tell my parents that I was smoking weed and kissing girls, and they were Christian conservatives, so they would kick me out, and he knew that. A bitch wasn't trying to be homeless. He threatened to kidnap and grape me and use me as a human incubator in his attic for 9 to 10 months, and that was ultimately my last straw. I did report it, but nothing was done about the report. Now he's got 2 grape allegations, so maybe they should have listened to me in the first place. Immediately after we broke up, he starts telling me how much he loves me, which he had never said at all throughout the relationship. He's like, oh, I just want you in my life, you're gonna be mine forever, like it or not. And he was going to the Marines. Nigga, you really think that you're about to have a boyfriend over there and I'm not about to have one over here? We had went completely no contact when he started dating a really underage girl, and then a year later, I got a phone call at 1 o'clock in the morning on New Year's. I didn't recognize the number. I answered the phone, and I'm like, who's this? He said, no, I'm not going to tell you. We're going to play a guessing game. Who do you know who went off to the military? And because, like I said, I forgot about this dude. I can't think of nobody who went off to the military. My sister catches on, and she tells me. So, of course, I hung up on that nigga right away. He calls me back a few times, and then I answer on like the 4th or 5th time. He was like, I don't think you should be doing things like that, especially when I'm standing outside your house and I'm not alone. I look outside with my sister, the bitch is there. I lie and tell this nigga that I'm not home. He starts describing the things that he can see from outside of our place. And my dad had got a new truck at the time. He starts reading my dad's license plate to me. Tell him that he's creepy and he's weird and he needs to go away. He's like, oh, it's not creepy. I just need you all to myself. I need you to come back to me. I'm not going to go away until you come outside to talk and I get to see you face to face. Like, okay, Joe Goldberg. And he would come with his best friend sometimes, so why the fuck would I go outside in the middle of the night with my abusive ex who's drunk and another drunk man who I've never met before, by myself? He ended up popping outside my house more times when we were separated a year later than he did while we were together. You guys are probably thinking, Issa, why didn't you report this? I really wanted to, but my parents were really scared that if we reported it and the cops didn't do anything, but he still found out about the report, then he was going to come unalive all of us, so they said no. He was in the Marines, so my parents thought that for whatever reason he had access to a whole bunch of military weapons at any given moment. He would still pop up outside my house even after I blocked his number and email, and then he would start mailing letters to my house even while he was away. Every time he came home, he'd harass me. Even after I moved, it didn't stop. This man hated to party, and out of nowhere, he would stop popping up at my friends' parties, and if I was there, him and his friends would follow me around the entire party. He would send his friends to try to dance with my friends. If we sat somewhere, then him and his friends would come and sit with us. He'd ask me why I'm not talking to him, why I think I'm too good to speak to him. I had got into an altercation with his friend at a Halloween party because I told him to leave us alone and just go walk back over to his friend. And he said no, that he said, I don't want to get out of your space. What if I don't want to leave your space? What if I pepper spray your space? His sisters hated me. They would talk shit about me all the time, but one of them did hair and one of them did nails. Out of nowhere, they would start inviting me over to their house to come get services, offering me discounts or nail sets for free. Like, bitch, you're not about to have me on the first 48. So after going to parties just to see me and popping up outside my house trying to lure me into the darkness in the middle of the night for a year and a half straight, he finally stopped.
My first ever stalker. Yeah, this one's a weird one. So before I came to college, I had to come to orientation, but here we call it SOAR. At SOAR, we're paired into little groups. That's how you meet people, you talk to the new people, you exchange social medias. We're all coming into this new experience. We need to band together. And so I did. I shared my social medias with my group. We all exchanged phone numbers. We were all super excited, buzzing with excitement to start our collegiate career. We're all going around the circle talking about what our names are, where we're from, what our majors are. We're going around doing our little formalities, and one of the guys in the group, we're gonna name him Javier. So it's Javier's turn. He says where he's from, and he's from a town that is right next to my hometown. So I'm like, oh, okay. Bondage immediately. Like, bonding. Not that kind of bondage. I'm like, okay, bet, Javier, he seems cool. Like, we have something in common already, right? Bitch, wrong. Then he starts talking about his major, everything, blah, 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 whatever. My turn. Hi, I'm Christina. I'm from insert hometown here. Immediately, his eyes widen. So we go around the circle, we finish talking. As soon as we're done with that little icebreaker game, we are allowed to get up and go and explore and look around the new campus. And what does Javier do? He decides to follow me and my mother. So me and my mom were walking around, looking at all the different little buildings, walking my classes, and Javier is behind us. To Javier, when we were talking about the hometowns, do you have a job? Like, what do you do? And he says where he works. I say where I worked at the Dick's Sporting Goods in my hometown. Fun fact, there's only one Dick's Sporting Goods in my hometown. The next closest one is going to be like 30 minutes away. Me saying where I lived, plus that I worked at Dick's Sporting Goods, he easily put 2 and 2 together. The rest of SOAR continues. The weekend was great. Back home without a second thought. Super excited to begin my collegiate career. It was summertime. I was just getting ready to get through summer so I could get to college. It means that I was working virtually every day to try to save my coin, save my bag, because your girl was hustling. After SOAR, Javier had followed me on everything. He'd also gotten my phone number, and he had started trying to text me. I thought Javier was a cool guy, as in a friend. When he was texting me, of course, at first, on some friend shit, I responded. It increasingly got worse and worse and worse, and weirder and weirder and weirder. He started saying things like, why aren't you responding to me? What are you doing? Why aren't you responding to me? Spamming my phone, y'all. Sometimes I would say, oh, I'm at work. Great excuse. I love saying that I'm at work. And genuinely, I was. And I could have been on my phone talking to him, but I don't want you. Like, the fuck? Get off my line. Javier takes it upon himself to start calling me while I'm at work. He's like, if you're actually at work, pick up the phone so I can make sure that you're at work. Obviously, no, you psychopath. I'm not gonna do that. At this point, I fully had stopped responding to him at all, y'all. He was just spamming my phone to no avail because I was not responding to his antics. A couple days later, I'm at work, and he hadn't sent me a text in a while. I'm thinking the worst of it is over. I'm thinking we are done. He's finally gotten the hint. He's off. Boy, was I wrong. I'm sitting up front, checking people out, other than Javier walks through the double sliding doors of Dick's Sporting Goods. I told you that we lived in neighboring hometowns. His hometown had the other Dick's Sporting Goods that was 30 minutes away from mine. There's no reason why he should be in my side of the tracks. Does that make sense? Everything he would have needed is 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes away from him. So for him to come to find me is going out of his way. Checked my phone as I see him walk through the doors because I was like, oh my God, did he mean to do this? Sure enough, as I was at the register, he had called me 4 times, texted me and said, I'm gonna find out if you're actually at work. Or, excuse me, what? He walks in through the doors. He stops, he sees me at the register, and he walks up with a smile on his face. I look at my coworker, I go, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I go to the bathroom, I come back up, and he is still waiting there for me. Over to him, and I'm like, hey, Javier, how are you? Start making small talk. What are you doing here? You know, this is beyond freaky. Like, you are freaking me out. This is not okay. He ends up getting kind of aggressive with me, y'all, and he's like, well, you weren't responding to my texts or my calls, so I had to make sure that you weren't lying to me. I'm sorry. He asks when I get off so that he can wait for me outside so that we can hang out. I'm like, I don't want you. How about that? No. I tell my coworker, I'm like, I'm going on break. I go find my manager in the back and I'm like, hey, this guy, he's here. I met him in Charlotte. He is now in my hometown. This is incredibly weird. I do not want him like that. I do not want to hang out with him like that. Like, please help me out in this situation. So my manager's like, okay, perfect. We're going to switch you around. We're going to put you in footwear for the night so that you're not up at front with him. And I'm going to ask him to leave. And I was like, okay, perfect. I think we're done, right? He leaves after my manager talks to him and he does not text me, does not call me, does not say a word. I'm like, oh my God, he finally got the hint. Thank God. We just needed to have an adult in this situation. Or so I thought. I worked again the next day. I'm up front. It's another regular shift. I'm surely not thinking anything, especially regarding Javier, is going to happen because he's gone. No, baby. About 3 hours into my shift, I see those sliding doors slide right open and he walks in. What's funny is my manager was standing at the door, but this was a different manager. He was standing right at the door. Javier sees him and immediately walks up to him and starts asking for Christina, aka me. And he turns to the registers and he sees me and he immediately hops in line, grabs a drink, hops in line, and then specifically waits for me. This motherfucker starts talking to me like everything is normal, like it's peach and dandy and fine that he's here, like he is not driving 40 minutes out of his way, one way, to come see me every day. He was coming in every single day and asking managers if I was working. My managers were calling me and texting me when I was off the clock. Hey, that guy came back. He asked if you were working. We told him no, you need to be safe. At this point, it was common knowledge to all of the employees that this man was no bueno. He was out to fucking get me because I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He was going to more than managers at this point. He's going to in every department asking if they've seen or heard from me, where I am, what I was doing. Like, it was kind of scary. I'm getting texts from coworkers. A guy came in asking if you were here today. He was asking where you were. You weren't responding to his texts. Oh my God. I was genuinely getting scared. Manager, please do not put me on the register up front. Like, this man, like, what if he's coming to me? You know, like, what the fuck? I don't know. Manager starts scheduling me in the back end footwear. I start working back there until the very last day that Javier ever comes in. He walks in the store, asks an employee who's standing up front where I am. They did not know that I wasn't supposed to be contacted by this man. So they tell him that I'm back in footwear. He comes back to footwear and he sees me and he immediately starts speed walking towards me. My heart dropped out of my asshole. I see him approaching and I turn to one of the footwear associates and I'm like, oh my God, that's him. Help. Like, what the fuck do I do? Before I can even figure out what I should do, Javier is standing right next to me. I'm running out of time, y'all, so you're gonna have to follow or come back for part 2.
So I was watching a documentary about a lady talking about how she had a stalking experience that almost cost her life. And it ended up making me think about a stalking experience I had of my own and how that particular event literally changed how I moved around the world. Back when I was in college, I went to school in a college town, FAMU alumni, gang. And there was this guy I met on campus. I did not think much of it at the time. We exchanged numbers. He didn't even seem particularly interested in me. I do remember that, but we did exchange numbers because it's college, whatever. And literally did not text or call after that for maybe about a week or so. Probably about 3 days after that encounter, I started seeing this man everywhere, like in passing. Like everywhere I was on campus, he was there. And maybe for about a week. And we would pass each other, hey, stop to chit chat one time. And I started to think it was strange after a while. And I remember going to the store with my friend and also seeing him at the store that we went to. And I remember being like gaslighting myself and telling myself that, oh, everybody comes to this Walmart. Like it's a college town. This is where everybody gets their groceries and everybody's broke. Whatever. I ended up telling myself, I'm the first person to tell myself this isn't happening. And that's usually how these things start. You gaslight yourself. You're not that deep. It's not that serious. Started seeing him. And I remember telling my friend, yo, homeboy's everywhere. Like he's everywhere. And he was just normal when he was everywhere. He wasn't like weird or creepy. He was just there. And it started to get weird after a while. Not too long after that, maybe this happened for about a solid 2 weeks. After a while, I'm like, oh, it's coincidence. My phone started to ring. It first started to ring like, you know, those spam likely numbers, but this was back in the day. And I would have this unknown number call, I'd pick up, nothing but breathing. It started ramping up to the point I couldn't even make an outbound call. My phone was ringing that much. Just ringing off the hook. All while I'm still continuously seeing this person and he's completely normal. Oh, hey, what's up? Oh, what's good? Da. Nothing. Didn't even connect the two. I'm like, this is so weird. I went to AT&T, had to get the number blocked. I even had to bring a friend with me to AT&T because my phone was dying because my phone kept ringing so much throughout the day. Got the number blocked. I eventually had to tell my parents what was going on. And my dad, because my dad's great, ended up going to AT&T and taking further measures about unsolicited calls or calling back to back and getting numbers blocked in that manner. So the phone calls and things stopped for a while. This had maybe gone on for like 2 or 3 weeks where I'm seeing this person and then the phone calls were happening maybe for about a week and some change now. So I saw this person on campus randomly one time and he had walked up to me and was like, I'm in a Greek organization. And he was like, oh, are you performing at the Greek step show thing? I told him, yeah, I am. He was like, oh yeah, me and my homeboys were thinking about going if you got tickets. I said, yeah, we have tickets. Everybody has to sell tickets. Whatever. Didn't think much of it. He said he didn't have the money yet. I said, cool. I'll run into you at a different time. You can get tickets. I run into him quite literally 2 hours later. 2 hours later, he's like, oh, now he has money. Before he ain't got no money. Now he has money to get tickets, not just for himself, but his homeboys. So normalizing the behavior, normalizing, oh, there's people with me, giving me a sense of security, putting me at ease. That is nothing weird going on. Now all of a sudden you got $80 out the blue to get stuff for you and your homeboys. I don't think twice of it. Sell him the tickets. We're cool. Nothing else happens. He asked how I'm doing. We kept it moving. I kid you not. Now we're ramping up to the step show, and maybe for over a month, I kept seeing this person all the time. And at the same time, I also had a job. I worked at a Waffle House, which is an all glass situation. It's not a restaurant per se, but it is a diner. And there was this car that was sitting in the parking lot. There was nobody in it. Didn't seem like it was on. And I started to notice it on my shift all the time. And then my coworker told me, it's so weird. This car is only here when you're working. Red flags. I said, okay. I ended up talking to her and being like, hey, I don't know if this is connected. I keep seeing this guy all the time. I had this really weird, string of phone calls happening. I wonder if this is connected. First person to gaslight me. She says, no, you're being dramatic. Acts like I'm centering myself. I said, okay. You know what? You're right. I am being dramatic. This car was here maybe 2 or 3 shifts. And I remember one shift, I ended up leaving really late. We were super busy. I ended up leaving really late, maybe around 11 o'clock, going to my apartment. And this car beat me to my apartment complex. It wasn't parked in front of my building, but when I had came in, it was parked not too far away. And I remember it was a very distinct memory because I was like, I've been staring at this car for my past 2 or 3 shifts. This doesn't make sense to me. So I'm telling myself all of these things to the point where I actually get a little creeped out. And I text my line sister who lived in the same apartment complex and said, can I come to your apartment? And I did. So I was creeped out to the point where I ended up telling her, I'm like, this is really strange. She was like, yeah, we actually see homeboy like all the time, every time we're with you. I know what you're talking about. Like, I've seen it, I've witnessed it, whatever. So I'm like, okay, am I at the point where like, I have no proof, like he seems really nice, but I can't put 2 and 2 and 2 together. Tell her about the car. I don't see the car again. We're leading up to this step show that this person bought tickets for. I see him on campus. He says, oh, good luck at the show. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go because my girlfriend has a chorus thing that same night. I said, oh, cool. Like, listen, the money I already turned that into the NPHC. Like, the money is gone. So if you're looking for a refund, that's not what it is. I said, no, it's all good. You're not required to go. Give him all that. He says, good luck. All this happens. The step show happens. And when everything is done, I see this individual walk up to me with a bouquet of flowers. Sir, you told me you have a girlfriend. What are you doing here? And why do you have flowers? We're not even cool like that. Hands me these flowers. And my jaw drops. I said, I thought you had something to do. You didn't have to do this. There was no expectation put in the world. We don't text. I guarantee you our text message thread was super duper short. And I'm like, what is this for? He's like, oh, I thought it was more important for me to be here. Why would you think that? What gave you that impression? And now I'm completely convinced. And something in my head said, I need to ask him. I looked at him and I said, hey, can I talk to you for a second? It's a bunch of people around. I said, have you been following me? He looked at me like I had 10 heads. Nah, that's wild. I asked again, have you been following me? He said, no, I wouldn't do that. I just thought you were a cool person. And I know this whole thing has been super duper stressful for you. I dismissed it. I cannot believe I did, but I dismissed it. This whole situation happens and I'm like, okay, cool. And then I was like, yeah, I'm tripping. And I ended up telling him, no, it's just a bunch of weird things that have been happening or whatever the case may be. And he was like, oh, what do you mean? And I ended up telling him, hey, it just feels like I see you all the time. I see you all the time. And it was a little strange to me. And he was like, oh, I think our schedules and stuff just overlap. And I also like to eat where you work. I've never told this person where I work. I've never told him what my shifts are. Waffle House is 24 hours. And he's never eaten in there when I've been working. Or I would have remembered. And he says it so casually. And he's like, oh, I gotta go. My homeboys are waiting for me. This was the last confirming red flag for me that I'm at a point where I need to do something, even if other people think I'm being dramatic. And I say all of that to say is, Sometimes when you know something is off, coincidences don't happen like that. That's not what a coincidence is. And you're not doing yourselves any favors, keeping yourself in danger because people think it's annoying. Don't gaslight yourself. If something seems off, if somebody seems off, even him, he seemed cool as a cucumber. It wasn't even that deep. Oh, no, I haven't been followed. Like, there was no weird energy. There was no peering around corners, but everything was off. I ended up going to the police station that night. I didn't even go straight home. I went to the police station that night and put a report in and stayed the night with my line sister. I said, I don't have it in me to risk. And just like that, as quickly as it started, I had never seen this person again. Never seen them again. Never seen them on campus. Didn't see them around the way. There's no classes, nothing. Hadn't seen the person again till this day. And it changed the way I moved around and how I thought about how people interact. Stalking is real. And I feel so bad for anybody that's going through that right now. Take action. Stuff can get dangerous, bro. Really, really quickly.
Instagram coming out with the location feature reminds me of why I had to turn my location on Snapchat off. So I'm gonna tell you the story of how I kind of had a stalker because of Snapchat location. Back when I got my first job at my first Chipotle location, there's this guy there who was training me. His name, we're gonna name him Ryan. He was like this, at the time, I thought he was cute, like little Hispanic man. He was like a year older than me, and I had just gotten out of a relationship, bitch, and I was single and ready to mingle. I have to say that I had the biggest crush on this kid, like literally ever. He was that kind of guy where he was an asshole, but he was an asshole enough to where it was like kind of funny and like kind of like attracted me a little bit. Do you know what I'm talking about? My type is assholes. I don't know, I can't help it. Anyways, but even though he was kind of an asshole, he was like one of my first friends that I had made there because he, you know, he was training me. Didn't get super close, but I took a liking to him. But unfortunately, he had a girlfriend at the time, so he eventually quit and we stopped having communication and blah blah blah, whatever. That was back in 2019. Okay, so let's fast forward to, it was either end of 2023 or like beginning of 2024 because my TikTok was just starting to kind of take off a little bit. Obviously, he wasn't with his girlfriend at this point, and we had rekindled. I can't remember if it was like on a dating app or if it was just through Instagram because he followed me or something like that. I don't know, but we started talking again. And at this point, like, I was entertaining it because I was bored. I wasn't talking to Mr. 5'3" anymore, you know, so I needed some hoes, but I really wasn't gonna do anything with him just because I wasn't like attracted to him anymore. You know when you really like somebody a long time ago and you're like, damn, like this is the most attractive person I've ever seen, but then like a couple years pass by and it's like they finally want you and you're kind of like, ew, get away from me. That's how it was, but I entertained it anyways. Remember, he kept like begging me to basically like see him and stuff like that, and I kept like kind of like, you know, finding excuses not to. And one day he was talking about like smoking me out or something like that, and I had made a joke. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like me saying I'm down at some point, not that specific night. I swear this man like has a fucking pee for a brain. He took that as me saying like, yeah, come over right now. Mind you, I've never given this man my address. I had my Snapchat location on because I always had it on. I never really thought anything of it. So 20 minutes or so roll by. All of a sudden I get a text from him and he's like, hey, I'm outside. I'm like, what? Mind you, bitch, it was late as fuck at night, okay? And in my apartment, you can hear literally everything that goes on outside. So I heard a car pull up, but I didn't think anything of it, obviously, until I got that motherfucking text. And then I could see the fucking bright ass light shining through my apartment. I'm like, oh, hell no. I cannot make this shit up, y'all. He used my Snapchat location to find my apartment, to pull up on me without even asking me. And then like 15-20 minutes of us going back and forth of him like trying to come inside until I finally heard his car pull off. Like, oh my god, that is so fucking weird. And I remember I took him off of literally everything. I started leaving him on delivered and stuff like that. And I remember he texted me one night. He was like, did I do something wrong? Are you fucking stupid? What do you mean, did you do something wrong? Yeah, so basically since then I've had my location on every single app off. Yeah, safe to say I'm kind of traumatized.